Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Murder Falcon, issue #1. This is an Image Comics comic book with the Skybound imprint. I don't really know what exactly to compare this to, but just a little tiny bit. Naked Bear Fighter is like right there. All right, there's several degrees of separation, but they do know each other. Okay, they've passed each other in the hallways before. Let's get into who actually made this comic book. So. We got mainly Daniel Warren Johnson, who is the creator, artist, writer, and does a couple of the letters, all right? Like maybe 3 letters out of every sentence, and Russ Wooten does the majority, apparently. Sean Spicer does the colors. Wait a second, Sean Spicer, that's Mike Spicer. Wow, between a Kavanaugh doing one book and a Spicer doing another one, I'm just politically tapped out, all right? This is too much for me. So, basically, this is this kid, all right? This goofy kid who's just like your typical, I grew up in the 80s, man. I have a feeling that this guy, Daniel, did also. But this kid, he's basically just this cat who goes around, and he used to play guitar, but, you know, they broke up the band for some reason. Apparently his girlfriend left him or died. As bummed as this kid is, the girlfriend better have died. I know that sounds rude, but come on now. If she just left him, all right, like, you punk, wake up, get a job. So he, basically he's moping, he's bumming, he's being kind of, you know, standoffish with his friends, his former bandmates and whatnot. But apparently they were a really awesome band, and like, he was the guy who brought everybody together. Yeah, okay. That's what we all wish, right? That's what we all wish, that we were the head of the band, like we were the indispensable ones. So at one point there's some monsters that are coming into the Earth dimension. We don't know how. Excuse me, we don't know how. And I think a monster just came through a dimension gate in my bedroom because I just like started choking on something. Anyway, so he sees this monster in his house. He's like, oh my God. He goes to grab his broken axe, meaning his guitar. And he's like, get away from me, man. And all of a sudden the thing reforms. He's like, what? My guitar, it's fixed. And this big giant guy comes out with it's a bird. And it looks like Tweety Bird on steroids. And he's got this big, gigantic robotic arm. So it's kind of like Cable, except it's on his right arm. So, you know, no relation whatsoever. And he goes right after this thing. It's like, hey, man, start playing the music. It's like, what? So he's got to jam a couple. Of course, he's got to be coerced into it. So he finally, like, you know, plays a couple. Do you want me to play an E note? Dude, it's heavy metal. Is there any other chord beside the E? So maybe a little G. So he like starts, you know, shredding a little bit, and all of a sudden he's able to beat the living snot out of this monster that broke into his house. The guy's like, oh, my name is Murder Falcon, you know, and when you play music, I kick butt. I'm powered by you and certain instruments in this world. Now that's key. I have a feeling that's going to be key to the future of this comic book. Certain instruments of this world are tied to certain of my people. Basically, when they play, that's when these guys are allowed to come into the universe and defend against these monsters. I don't know if they're all going to be quite so noble, but this particular one seems to be. Okay, so that's the gist of this comic book. A couple other things happen, but, you know, read the comic book to see those. I'm just telling you the gist. So, gist aside, this is about everything that I expected this comic to be. A comic book called Murder Falcon with that cover. You know, apparently is there more than one cover, or is there only one cover? Looks like there's only one cover right now. So there you go, bang. With that cover, this is all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't see this becoming one of the big comic books in the world. I don't know that it's actually intended for that. It's just a fun as hell comic book. You know what I'm saying? I feel like something like this belongs in Heavy Metal magazine, but it's not. So, you know, it's cool. Honestly, to be entirely serious, I think that if enough of these come out, I wouldn't mind seeing like one of those HBO or straight to net. I'd rather actually Netflix, like just a cartoon. Do a little like hour and 15-minute long cartoon. All right, not including the credits. Don't screw me over like that. Just get a little cartoon of this, man, or the first, like, arc, you know, the first 6 issues or so. I think that would actually be really fun. That's probably like a year or 3 down the line, but I can honestly see something like this being along the lines of, like, Death Clock, you know, and all those, because this is right up that alley. So I actually had a lot of fun reading this. I'm going to forget about it. As soon as I push stop, I'm probably going to forget about the comic book and jump on another comic, but the idea is like, while I was reading this was genuinely a lot of fun. So consider it, definitely consider it. And I am hoping the story does get a little bit deeper, a couple of twists and turns just to keep this memorable instead of just top of the head comic thinking. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.